Tim?
Hey, how are you, Stephen?
Good, man. How are you?
I'm doing freaking phenomenal. How's Iowa?
So I get in the car, and I said, well, there's sure a lot of flags here. And the driver in the car immediately, this is the runner who's driving us, me and my bandmates back from the gym, immediately starts going off on Black Lives Matter and kneeling on the flag. And I go, well, I am Black Lives Matter. Breonna Taylor. I was at those rallies. That's me. You're talking about me. Do I look like a problem to you? And it just immediately turned into this thing, and it was just bizarre that the immediacy in which you can become polarized. I just don't know why the guy wanted to participate in the conversation anyway. So, but the weather's beautiful.
Do you experience a lot of
sorghum? The sorghum is out. Looks good. Do I experience a lot of what?
A lot of, obviously the past few years, a few years have been polarizing.
Yeah.
When you're on tour, do you experience a lot of just the dude at the liquor store or the grocery clerk at the Vons? Do you experience a lot of that in the country?
No, mostly, and it's interesting. Billy Joe from Green Day said he's leaving America over this insane abortion ruling, where this court, who is appointed by minorities, overturned this precedent. The thing is that 70% or plus Americans want Roe protections, and more than 70% want gun control, just call it that. There's way more of us than there are of them, and I think you just have to keep that in mind. So no, for the most part, I meet just reasonable people, and that's actually the majority. That's what's so weird to me, that's going on right now. It's like this guy's all worked up about people kneeling at football games. And I said, well, it's the First Amendment protection. What's what are you concerned about? What do you? What's this misunderstanding? And then he immediately told me I wasn't getting my news from the right place. But this is actually very rare. For the most part, the majority of people are just kind of generally reasonable, and that's what I find, and I think that's why they're so mystified. But anyway, I don't even know how we got on that. Here we are, Tim. Hi,
my man. Well, I'm a big supporter and fan of your art, and
thank you.
Definitely appreciate the time for today. The first thing I wanted to get into is I heard your new single, Second Born.
Uh-huh. That's on our Unplugged record. Uh-huh.
Yes.
Yeah.
I have to. I'm so glad that, for one, I came across it, and two, can you? What is that? What is it about? Where are you coming from? What does the second born mean to you, and in comparison to the firstborn? In the family.
I missed the first part of your question. Can you ask it again?
Yeah. What does the second born mean to you compared to the firstborn in a family nucleus? Or is it a metaphor for something?
I never even asked myself those kinds of questions, but it's I think it's the one who's overlooked, the one who's not living up to expectations, but also the one in my family who is kind of the fixer. When you have divorced families, you often have kids who fall into two roles. One is the avoider, the one who kind of checks out, and then there's the one who's the fixer. And it seems like it's always the second one who becomes the fixer, but it's also sort of the overlooked one. And so it's about sort of finding your sense of self, place, and self-worth in light of those kinds of realities. I think that's, now that I think about it, what it's about.
That's an interesting take on it, because I've experienced that as well, a divorced family, and I saw my sisters become the withdrawn ones, and I was the one that was like, we got to fix this.
Right.
So just unintentionally, that's interesting.
But I don't write songs from some intellectual idea. It just they're sort of acts of self-discovery mostly. So I never know what it's about. I'm just kind of writing through the landscape of it as it kind of downloads into me.
How old is this song?
It's an old song. I wrote it a long time ago. And I don't know what year exactly I wrote it, but maybe 2006, 2007, something like that.
That's awesome.
Yeah. And just what happens with songs is I tend to write a group of songs in a period of time, and they have something about them that are cohesive. For example, our band Apart, to me, is really one of the most cohesive records we've written. It's because it was all done in the lockdown and kind of in response to that. But if one doesn't make it and you think, well, it'll go on another album, the problem is that another period of time comes along and you feel differently, and it has some kind of different emotional resonance, and it doesn't find a place. So I'm glad it found a place on this Unplugged album.
Yeah, and I'm glad I heard it, and I can't wait to get off the phone call to listen to it again through those eyes. I was trying so hard to just understand it, and that's what throughout the time of being a fan, I've always dissected every single song that you guys had and tried to refer it back to my life. So
I'm flattered. Thank you.
I also heard the remix, or a different version of How's It Gonna Be. And that one I really found just as good as the original version of it. It was very dark state. It has a dark undertone to it, and I remember always thinking through breakups, or when I was back home with my family, when I'm gone, you're gonna see. What was the instant idea when you were creating this song that you've already created to a different beat of drum?
How did I come up with a different version of it? Is that the question?
Yes.
Two things happened. One, Colin, my keyboard player, who co-produced the record, came up with this keyboard tone that he was putting through this kind of real lumpy, backgroundy kind of delay. And I think he's playing a mellotron. and no, not a mellotron. Maybe sang a Rhodes, something like that. They sang a Rhodes, and it just immediately had this different vibe to it. That's what you hear in the intro notes to How's It Gonna Be on the Unplugged. And I really wanted to get that very close up, like right into your ear vocal to it. That's immediately what I heard. And it just, to me, just brought out kind of the ominous nature of kind of impending, the impending abyss of not being known. And then we just recorded from there. So those were sort of the operating principles.
Awesome, dude. I appreciate that. So you're going on tour. You're going to be in our area, which I am Ventura County native. You'll be at the Ventura Theater August 6th. You guys are doing a big, 25 years in the blind. It's called.
Yeah.
Do you still have like bucket lists of going across the country and touring, or is it just business?
Bucket lists. What do you mean by that?
Like Grand Canyon, or like certain kinds of foods. Like me and my family, we love to, go to a website that Guy Fieri has diners, drive-ins, and dives, and we try to go and duplicate that when we're traveling. Are there bucket lists that you, or like places when you're on tour, like, oh, we're gonna go do this and we're gonna do that, or is it just a business situation?
Well, it's never felt like business to me. It's always been about passion. But the thing is, touring takes so much out of you. It's so taxing that it's really not. It's not like travel. It's not like a vacation. It's really exhausting to do what people do. To play it all out for 2 hours every night. It's just really all you've got. And so on day offs, we like to go to museums. And last night I was in played Red Rocks, which is a place we love to play. And we went out in Red Rocks and went out to this really cool outdoor restaurant overlooking this kind of like the canyon, and just got a kind of like this moment of repose. Those are very rare. Touring's really about just creating those moments of connection and suspension with that exchange with the audience. That's the thing that's. It's not a bucket list. It's just something that it's something that you come back to over and over again and live to create. That's the whole point of it.
Love it. Okay, so I'm going to wind down the interview. I have some questions back to back. They're not really, they're easier, funner questions.
Okay.
There's a dream concert, and you're the booker. You can pick any 4 acts, alive or dead. What 4 acts will be on your dream concert?
Oh, God, I don't know. How does everybody put me on these? I'm so bad at these things. Terrible. Like, anytime I don't know, Dolly Parton, Led Zeppelin, I don't know. I can't do that one.
All right, we're good.
Fill in the blank.
What is your mom or dad's signature dish?
The only macaroni and cheese I've ever really, really loved was my mother's. She made it with coleslaw. It's the only coleslaw I ever liked either.
Oh, shit. So was it, like, mixed together, coleslaw and macaroni and cheese?
No, they were separate.
Oh, they're separate.
Delicious.
What is life teaching you right now?
That negative emotions aren't necessarily bad, and it's okay to sit through them without trying to solve them.
Fucking A, dude. That's awesome. What is your favorite moment on any stage?
A moment where everybody lifts up out of themselves, their shoulders loosen, they stop worrying about their real estate on the grass, they start feeling things together, and they have this moment of feeling palpably that they're not alone, that they're brought together by collective feeling in music. I live for that.
Awesome. And the other side to that coin would be, what is the biggest blunder you've ever experienced on stage?
The biggest blunder?
Yes.
I fell off stage once, hit my chin, and knocked myself out.
Oh, no fucking way. What year?
2000.
Oh. All right. All right. I think only two more left. This one is, if you walk into a room, and in this room is everyone you've ever met in your entire life, who's the first person you're looking for?
First person I ever, everyone I ever met in my whole entire life. Has anybody ever answered anything other than their mother?
Yes.
Oh. Well, not me.
Okay. And then my last question is, I missed this one, or else I would have done it prior. The Who's TV show with Pam Tommy, obviously they said, you guys got kicked out of the studio, which you've already denied. You have no idea of that happening. But when that happened, when that aired, did your phone go crazy?
Did what go crazy?
Your phone? There were a lot of people just messaging you out of the blue, and you're like, I don't know what the hell this is.
No, my friends are a bunch of snobs. They don't watch that show.
Right, yeah. All right, my man. I just want to say thank you.
Just like to say about Ventura, if I may, we're really looking forward to playing there, and the initiative that we're doing for this album is that we are saving kelp reef off Santa Cruz Island, which you guys can see from Ventura. The entire, part of the proceeds for the tour goes to preserving a reef, the kelp on it, and the kelp in that reef sequesters carbon to the point where it's making this tour, as best we can, carbon neutral. So just people going to the show will be seeing a direct impact on the Channel Islands off the coast of Ventura. Pretty cool.
How did you become involved in that, and what made you want to, really, make a statement by doing this? And I mean, statement to the world, and for our environment.
Well, I think that everybody should try to have an impact on climate. The best way you can do that, obviously, is to vote for climate agendas. So voting is the best way you can do it. But in other ways, it also makes sense. And we just didn't want our tour to be part of the problem. And then the second part of it is that I'm a surfer, and it's only natural that the ocean that gives me so much joy is something that I want to get back to and protect. So it all just kind of comes around in a beautiful circle. And that's it.
How is it being, what is actually happening to help preserve that specifically?
Yeah, so that's a great question. So what happens is we go out to the kelp reefs in Santa Cruz, and it's the climate change is making the sea urchins go crazy out there. And the sea urchins, when they don't have enough food, they go climbing around the bottom, and they start eating the kelp base, the whole fat of the case of the kelp, and that makes the kelp just lift up and cruise away and turns into a desert. So it kills the whole fish life in the area, but it also stops creating oxygen and sequestering carbon. So they're actually adding to climate change. So climate change is speeding up climate change. So what we do is we go down and we kill every last damn sea urchin that we see, and then we plant more kelp onto holdfasts, and then we make more reef space available and enrich the kelp. That brings in the surf perch. It brings in the sea otters. It brings in the whole cycle of life there that then rebalance, and the otters start eating the urchins at the right level, and everything is kind of perfect again.
Oh, shit. There you go, man. I appreciate that.
Yeah.
Well, Stephen, you're an amazing dude. And August 6th, the Ventura Theater, the County of Ventura is going to be so excited to see you guys. And thank you for, 25 years of being in the blind. We appreciate it.
Hey, thanks so much, Tim. It's a pleasure talking to you.
All right, man. Have a good day and be safe on the rest of your tour.
Thanks.